I'm with Burghard Schunkert from Lifegate. Now, Burghard, what is Lifegate?
We are a place for people, children and young people with special needs. And we are called Lifegate because the gate is wide open to receive the people as they are. They are welcome here to different programs for rehabilitation, including education, medical care, therapy, and we work intensive with parents and family members.
Now you have sort of lots of little micro businesses all around the place. One of those things that you're doing, you have a beauty salon, and one thing you're making is soap. Tell us about the beauty salon and the soap.
Yeah, we are living in a country, let's say, where people with special needs are not receiving any support from official places, neither institutions. That's one of the reasons why since years we are looking for opportunities to help ourselves, to create an income with the people with special needs. So they are trained in these sections, and then they can have also a working place. But many, after training, return to their home areas, villages and cities, and they open a little business themselves. So we were thinking in the last years, besides already 10 different professions we are teaching in the institution, what we could add. And one thing which is very, very nice also for ladies in wheelchairs is to learn manicure. So together with manicure, we created a hairdressing salon. So now we have a salon where a hairdresser, a lady, is teaching ladies how to create a nice haircut. And the same lady also is professional in manicure. So we're training ladies in manicure. Later, they can open a little salon in their homes. Mosaic is something which belongs to the country since ancient years. You find the old Roman mosaics everywhere in ancient sites in Israel and also here in the Palestinian areas. And we thought these little stones and making a piece of art out of it is a very, very nice opportunity. And so, because there are some things happen in the same time. A group of people sits around a table. Everybody has in front of him space. And also wheelchair drivers are included. And now they have a little pattern and they start searching stones with different colors and put them together and creating their own pictures. In a later stage, these things which we are creating can be also practical. We can use it as something, you can put a pot on it, you can hang it on the wall, you can do all kinds of things with it, but it's an original piece of art a young person did. And they can take it also home and show their parents. And they're very proud of it.
And with making soap, you've got so many olive trees here and olive oil. It's a great way of using the resources that you've got here in the country.
Yeah, Lifegate since years is exporting olive oil indeed to Europe, mainly to Germany. And we are famous for our good quality oil from the Samarian mountains. And there's always, in the end of the oil harvest, some leftover of oil, which is not sellable as oil for food, for example. And this oil you can purchase quite with a reasonable price, and you can do out of it soap on the base of olive oil. But we add other flavors, only natural flavors, let's say from plants with a nice smell. And this soap we would like to produce for hotels and guest houses in the future, who need them ongoing, actually, but also, again, for our European market.
Now, I've been here many times before, and you have greenhouses on the property. Tell us how your greenhouses are. What do they look like?
Yeah, this is another problem in the country, that we have a lot of waste material, especially plastic bottles, and also these old wooden pallets. And we thought out of these two elements, plastic bottles and wooden pallets, we can do something very meaningful. We can build greenhouses. And this we started some years ago. And every year we build around 4 greenhouses, and we build planters also from waste wood, which are inside. And we make it in a way that, for example, a wheelchair driver can work on these planters. So the greenhouse is big enough that a wheelchair can go inside and somebody can really plant and later hopefully harvest the goods in this house. The house costs us almost nothing, only work, of course. And we built them in a way that it has 5-6 parts, can be dismantled here on the spot. Then we transport it to a home of one of the young people who learned to build it and also to work in it. And then we rebuild it in the home of the person. And they can create a little income with the products they are growing there, which could be vegetables, could be flowers. It helps the families, but they also can sell the goods which they produce.
Now, one of the heroes of the faith that everyone sort of knows the story of is Joni Tada, who was made disabled through a swimming accident. You have a relationship with her. Tell us about the relationship and the bond you have with her.
Yeah, that is a very nice story. I think I was 16 or 17 years old when in Germany, where I'm original from, her book of her accident and her life, how she came to faith, crossed my way. And I read this book, and this was my first touch with the life of this lady. Then this was somehow deep in my heart and also in my brain, and I think my love for working with people with special needs has something to do with this book. Many, many years went in my life, and at a certain stage we were asked from friends in Jordan if maybe some people from Lifegate's therapists could come over and help with the wheelchair distribution. And we had in this time also an American volunteer, and we had some therapists who were ready to go, and we joined a wheelchair distribution in Jordan. And there was a little American team from Joni and Friends, and actually all these wheelchairs were donated by Joni's ministries in the US. So this was the first time we had contact with people from Joni and Friends. Took some years. We invited them every year, come over to our site, see what we are doing. And in a certain stage, a little group came, visited Lifegate, and this was the icebreaker. From this moment on, a wonderful friendship was developed. I was invited to the US, and I went, with my son. Mika was 14 years old in this time, and I could meet Joni the first time in my life and thank her for her book and for this, what she did in my life. 2 years later, we were asked by Joni and Friends if we could overlook some countries in the Middle East for 3 things: wheelchair distributions, program Joni and Friend does. It's called Beyond Suffering. It's a program where people from churches will be taught how to recognize people with disabilities and how to invite them to the churches, that they also have a life with the Lord. And the third thing, they do family retreats for families who have a disabled or more disabled children. And this we do since 2 years also now in our little guest house, Lifegate Garden in Bethlehem. These family retreats were wonderful. Many families came and we spent 3 days together. And what is nice in this work with Joni and Friends is that my experience in Lifegate, which is 35 years, I can bring in all these other countries in the Middle East where we are invited to help, and Palestinian people go to help with us. Very important. They are not victims anymore. They are doers of many beautiful things in our neighboring countries.
Wow. Amazing to hear. And obviously when you said about getting churches involved to understand about disability, that's really important here in the community, isn't it? Because I don't think many people really understand disability, and many children are sort of thrown to the side.
Right, that is a very good point. Yes, I'm myself reaching out to the local congregations, and can say we have a wonderful relationship with Emmanuel Church in Bethlehem, where the young people are helping us in these family retreats now since 2 years. And also I can invite people to lecture to the parents in the same time. But we're reaching out also to other congregations here in our area. And this is what is very, very important, that really we are opening our churches and our hearts for people with special needs. And thanks God, some of the people here in Lifegate, they're going now regularly to some of these churches, and they are integrated in this life. And then another nice thing, maybe also I can say that in Israel, there is a new ministry also, let's say, taking care of people with special needs. It's called Makom Balev, which means place in the heart. And I can say these people who work there have really a place in their heart for people with special needs. And also these people are very open for the work with Joni and friends and with Lifegate. And it's always in Lifegate our wish, beside a good rehabilitation work, which we do out of a humanitarian need here in Bethlehem, to build bridges between Palestinians and Israelis. And we, the believers, can be the one who can show a wonderful example. And that's what we do with Makom Belev.
Wow. And that's really important. Do you have a basketball team here as well?
Yes, thanks God. We have since many years a wheelchair basketball team. And we are training every Friday, and we are very well trained. What is lacking since the 7th October of 23 is unfortunately our games we had regularly with an Israeli team in the area of Tel Aviv. Because of the circumstances and the permissions you need to get together, this is put on hold. But we are very, very looking forward that one day this is possible again. Again, this was one of these little bridges of Lifegate between Palestinian and Israeli youth who came together, played basketball, had later dinner together, talked to each other, and recognized we are all people and we can live together in peace if we want.
We've had war here in the Holy Land. How has that affected you here at Lifegate?
Yeah, first, of course, the daily news, let's say, the sadness in so many people's life by knowing somebody who was or injured or even killed in this war. Then, of course, the fear about the missiles who were shot in our country. Even here in the Palestinian area, it was more the parts which fall on us sometimes when a missile was shot down. But in Israel, the direct hits also. The hatred between the people and the hopelessness. This is all very, very heavy. And also we felt it here in Lifegate. There is like a heavy cloud over the whole area here. But walking in faith day by day, and we worked normally, there was almost no interruption at all. And God hold his hands above this place where we are sitting here. And we could give our children, our young people, but also their parents and our team stability. They could come to work every day. They received their salary in the end of the month, while many family members lost their jobs, especially in tourism in our area. So the salary of Lifegate was the only money they had to live from. So all this is a gift from God, is a gift from the people who helped us through this difficult time. But also our local income was not as before. The guest house was empty. The laundry had almost no work because the hotels were closed. No tourist group came to visit us before. We had 3 groups a week coming to Lifegate. Nobody came anymore. But even so, we made it month by month, and this is God's grace and God's help.
So even though the tourists didn't come, and you make product for the tourist industry, you have a catalogue so people can actually still buy and purchase some of the things that you make. What's the website? How do people actually get to see that?
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning it. Yes, of course, our goods are for sale in Europe, in Germany, but also here. Our website is lifegate-reha.org, and there you find all the catalogs of Lifegate, and there people can order the goods.
Is it exciting coming into work day by day? Why do you do the work you do?
I'm called to this work, and I tell you, because I'm here quite a number of years, I ask my boss, sometimes my boss in heaven, don't have another place for me? Is it not enough? Almost it's next year 40 years. Yeah. You know, yesterday was this word in my little prayer book, don't be afraid. My grace is enough for you. And I think that is what I learned. And I learned also, and that is beautiful, the work here is with people. And every person enters in the morning this place here, a child or a young adult or you today, is enriching my personal life. And I can say I received in my life through this work and through the people and through the challenges much, much more than I give. And that is beautiful. And that's why I'm coming every morning very happily to this place.
What is your prayer for the disabled Palestinian community and also the Israeli disabled community?
Yeah, first of all, here in the Palestinian side, that the people are more recognized, that they are not hidden anymore in houses, that we see them in the society, in the coffee houses, in the places where you see people usually, and that they are a part of our life, our daily life in this area of the world. I would wish and like very much. In Israel, it's more organized. There are big institutions. So in the morning, a car takes you maybe to a center. But your life is more or less between house and center. We in Lifegate, we do many, many activities with the society. I'll give you an example. Our kindergarten children go almost every month 2 or 3 times to other local kindergarten and have a program together. And then we invite these kindergarten children from outside to us. And the children, a long time ago, have no problems anymore to interact with each other. They don't see even the disabilities. Yeah. Same happened in our school program. We visit many regular schools, and we have every year some children who are able to enter a regular school in town. So we try really our best to involve the people in society. And our parents are wonderful messengers because they learned from us and with us not to be ashamed anymore to have a child with a special need, to see all the chances a child has. And this, they communicate this in their bigger families, in the society, and slowly we change here the acceptance and the world for people with special needs. Of course, every year again before October 23, we went with an Israeli group of disabled people together to Tabqa, the Lake of Galilee. And we had a wonderful weekly camp over there in the Jewish holiday of the Feast of the Booths, Sukkot. We built the booth together. We were sitting inside. The first evening, the Israeli group explained us what is the feast about. And then we had swimming every day, we had a nice program. We took the Israeli group to Capernaum, and we explained them, our Christians, that who was there, living there, and in the synagogue who preached there, that this was one of the people we adore very, very much and we believe in. And we had a wonderful week, and we came back on the 6th of October 23 very happily from this event, and the next morning our world changed. We hope it will change again.
What's your website for people who'd like to know more about the work that you do?
www.lifegate-reha.org.
Okay, Burghard, well, thank you very much for sharing today.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for asking.